So, what we feel during paying off debt, the emotions we have um, in the mix of all that debt. So, that's the topic for today. And I'm telling you from experience, when we pay off debt, it feels like a high, kind of. You're going full bore, paying off debt, and you're putting everything on that debt. And that's your main focus, right, for a long time. So that's what I think about day in, day out, is all this debt. And when we started, literally, it's overwhelming to the point where you're stressed out. You have unhealthy habits. You can't sleep. You're not getting rested because it's always on your mind, and it's this huge weight. So then comes the factors of the shame, the disgust, the guilt that comes with, how did you get yourself into this mess, in the first place? How do we, gosh, we don't foresee what the future is going to be, so we don't plan accordingly. And what's crazy is that after all the dust settles, it's like, man, how dumb was I? And the dread, literally, of thinking that it's never going away, it's never going to end. You see all that money going out as you're paying down debt. It's hard to have your triumph period is very short when you pay something off. It's like, woohoo, okay, back to the grind. You know what I mean? It's like your triumph of paying a $4,000 or $5,000 debt down is very short-lived, which it should be. You still want to celebrate, but you don't want to celebrate too big. You need to just, stay focused and really just do it. So, what's even more mind-boggling is once you start adding up what you've paid off as you're going through the journey, the dollar amount it's almost sickening to, but there's hope, because that you made the mistakes and you have to pay that off in order to get out of debt. So the emotions that you feel once you reach a goal, it's a very short period of triumph, and then it's the next one, just the overwhelm, it just starts building until that one is paid off. It's almost like, the little ones, they're very quick, and they're very, very quick, short wins. But it seems to me like the high dollar ones, those are the ones that they creep in on you, and your dread, and your stress is longer for a longer period of time, because that debt is higher. You get those short victories, and yes, it does build up the momentum, and it does sustain you for a little bit, but I'm telling you, like, by the time you get done with a $5,000 debt, you're literally exhausted. I feel very exhausted because, you're literally gazelle intense. It's just crazy how the little ones, you're fired up and you have all this energy, and then you pay off say $100 one first, and then you go to a $300, and then you go to a $5,000, and then $1,000, and then a $4,000, then almost a $6,000, and then you have an $8,000. It's like they get higher and higher, but the stress doesn't get any less the more the more you pay off. It really doesn't. It's almost like the higher dollar ones, because you're in it longer, like the stress is longer as well, and it doesn't alleviate, even though all the ones before it, say you had 6, 7, or 8 before you got to an $8,000 one, those are gone. It's still that one focus. I mean, and this is like major focus stuff, because you got the the horse blinders on, you can't see anything else but that dollar number of what you need to knock out. So it is stressful, even though you do have the triumphs of the 8 before it. It's very short-lived. Yeah. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to go over some of the emotions that you reach when you hit a goal, and then what you're still feeling while you're paying off debt. So the stress, it does become less. Don't get me wrong, it does, but it's like each one brings its own level of stress while you're paying it down. And once you do triumph and it is gone, it's a very short-lived victory. It really is, because then you get right to work and you get focused on the next one. So yeah, so that's what I wanted to cover today. And just keep keeping on, guys. Keep diligent, stay focused, and don't give up. The end is near.